Hey Brendan, how's it going?
Hello. I'm doing good. Beautiful Friday morning.
So we wanted to connect and just to hear an update on how Harvest 2024 was for you.
Harvest 2024 was really, really cool. I went from being an ambassador for the company for a number of years to being able to come out and experience harvest season. There was there was not a ton of preparation. It was kind of, hey, come out. We'd love for you to experience it. And I think in the span of a week, I went from having the opportunity to just showing up in the Okanagan and getting started. And it's pretty wild. I was a little bit anxious. I was really excited. I didn't know exactly what it was going to look like. Um, and it was kind of you
And
show up.
you had tree planting experience before
I
too.
had I had
So
tree
you
planting
knew kind of knew what
experience.
was gonna like what it would be like.
I knew physically I could probably deal with it and I could do piecework. But it was literally just like showing up, and we kind of had our lead harvester who helped to coordinate a lot of things. Dom, who was an amazing guy. And it was, all right, man, here's your harness. Here's your bucket. This is the area we're going to. This is where you might find some trees. I'm going to stick with you for a little bit and we'll see how it goes. And yeah, the first 2 days were literally just like, it's a scavenger hunt almost, where you're driving down roads, you're learning what to look for, what signs. For the first couple days, I didn't even know what the average size of the ponderosa catechins we were looking for would be, what was worth picking, what wasn't. And after a few days, I was like, okay, the area I'm going to, there's not going to be enough for both of us. So I'm going to go this way. You're going to go that way. And it's like 4 hours in between us in terms of distance. And yeah, just like out on my own, kind of to explore a bit of the Okanagan area. I think I was in Lake Country, and this brand new journey of going and getting to explore the country, getting paid to explore the countryside, and starting to see all these different beautiful varieties of ponderosa, different phenotypes. Um, Starting to understand like exactly how to pick, how to get in the groove of doing that. This is the first time where you pick for an entire day and then I'm sleeping in my car. You've got all your product in the bins outside, getting up at the crack of dawn, eating, and just going right back at it. Um,
So
and
you're
getting
always on the move, right? Like it's not like
oh,
you're working
it's
at a farm. You have
no,
to travel around based on what is ready to harvest.
yeah, it's not static, right? And we have such a short window to get the product and to harvest. And I mean, on top of that, learning like there's initiative that needs to be taken. So you would come across just amazing stands, but they're on private land. And so one of the things I learned very, very early on, and I've had experience in sales and building relationships, is being able to just go approach landowners and connect with them, share with them what you're doing. And I would say without fail, 100% of the landowners I approached this season were excited about what we were doing, wanted to support us, and were really, really actually impressed with the ethics of how we harvest. That was like a big, big thing with pretty much everybody. They were impressed with how sustainable we were in our harvesting methods, with how ethical we were, ensuring that year after year the trees were actually going to be healthy. And they were really, really grateful. Most of them were like, "So you mean I'm not going to have all this yellow dust all over my cars for in like the next couple months?" No, no, we'll take care of that for you. Um, so just really, really cool experience. I think that was probably one of the highlights. The most enjoyable thing for me is having this kind of solace through the day where I'm on my own, I'm harvesting, I'm getting to explore, I'm getting to interact with these beautiful trees. And then every now and again, having these beautiful interactions with landowners, getting to educate them, getting to share with them, and just seeing kind of like the gratitude on both ends.
Nice. Yeah, I know you had a lot of success and it was great that you could make those connections. Because if you return again next year, then you know where to go. There's a learning and working on the land too.
There is that definitely. I think if I was going to come back and harvest again, I would honestly want to explore more, and I would try to build new relationships and try to expand the network so that as a company and as an organization, we can have new harvesters coming in. And I think that's some of the most intimidating aspects is not everybody has the skills I have. So if they can come in and they know that there's established relationships where they can go, they know they're going to be able to pick, and I'm content to kind of like explore, build new relationships, and kind of help to provide for everybody as a
Yeah.
whole and as a collective. It helps everybody. Everyone's prosperous. Everyone's making money. Everyone's having a good time.
Yeah, I look forward to connecting with some of the other harvesters because you're right. Everyone on the team brings a different skill set. And that's kind of beautiful to see that we are dependent on each other, but also working
Mm-hmm.
together. And
Mm-hmm.
also, the land is another partner, right? Like everyone's part of this whole piece. So it's beautiful. So tell me about living and working with a bunch of strangers for 6 weeks. What was that like?
That was amazing. It essentially turned into like an international hotel. We have people from Spain, India, Czech Republic, Chile, Costa Rica, France, and then, people from all over Canada. And it became this amazing melting pot where almost every night we would come together. People would take turns making dinner. So we're getting dishes and different flavors from all over. And everyone was very, very supportive. I really haven't had an experience like that. And my understanding is that a lot of the harvesters said this is kind of the first year where they've really had this like very social communal aspect where everyone wanted to interact. Um, Everyone was very willing to share different spots and where they could be successful. And so I think like opening up communal wise, even just like village wise, that was a really great experience.
And how do you like share in the harvest? Like I saw that there was this big map on the wall and everyone had their little like territories. So like is there a problem with people being like this is my spot, or how do you respect people's areas that they find and they're harvesting from? Do you kind of like have an agreement that this is my area, or how does that work?
So being my first season, I think I saw a fine balance. So the reality is we get picked for the weight of catechins that we harvest. Some people have a capacity to pick much more in a day. They're very skilled at that. They've been doing it for a number of seasons. They have their spots. And so there's this respect that people who have put in the time and who have been there for years, they're going to have the places they go to. But they were very willing to share and say, hey, you know what? This is kind of where I'm going. But there's these other spots I've been. I think you could do really well there. And there is also just the reality that sometimes you need to take initiative and you're going to have to go and find your own places. And that's okay as well. And that's something where if you're going back to the same spots year after year, I mean, you're going to get the same results. But those maps that you mentioned that were on the wall, the amount of territory that hasn't been explored is insane. So I think that's something that like moving forward, it would be great as an organization to kind of catalog exactly kind of where everything's coming from. So again, that people coming back year after year, new harvesters, they have spots they know they can go to, but we're also kind of able to expand our network.
And I think from tracking and because we are organic certified, all of the pickers do document, and because there's a
Mm-hmm.
traceability component too to our
Yeah,
harvesting.
yeah, yeah, and it definitely helps with that as well.
So at the end of the day, you come, or after a couple days being out in the field, you're returning all of the product. How does that work? What does it look like?
So we use fruit picking bins, really great, really stackable. These help to aerate the product, make sure it's staying at the right temperature. Early season, they're usually good for 2 to 3 days, and then we would bring them back to cold storage or the Airbnb that we were staying at. And Burgess, who handles kind of all the logistics and all the processing, make sure that they get into cold storage, get to our processing facility, get on the drying racks, and are taken care of. So after we've kind of like weighed everything, that's kind of how that logistically works out. And I think one of the cool things about that is it is, to my understanding, we offer the only commercially available uncracked cell wall pollen in the world. So it really is. It's coming straight from the wilds. You have this raw, living organic cell in the pollen, and the only thing that's being done is you're putting it on drying racks and allowing temperature, which is the natural process, to open these catechins to fall through, and they're collected. So it's pretty beautiful as far as a consumer product goes, that we're trying to emulate as much as possible the natural process of how these medicine would be consumed.
It's pretty amazing when you start comparing the quality of our pollen to other brands, and you can really see the difference. And then when you're taking it, you feel the difference. Have you
I
explored other types of pine pollen on the market?
Yeah, I can definitely attest to that. There are a number of other companies that offer products in Canada, and the reality is, in general, I find you have to take twice as much to three times as much to get the exact same results that you get from our pollen. So I think what might what might be a deterrent for some is looking at the price point of our products, but the reality is, you are paying for the highest quality product available globally. You are supporting a Canadian company. You're supporting ethical, sustainable, and organic practices. And over time, you have to take far less to get the exact same results. And I've had friends who've have said the same things. They notice just the quality and the potency of our tinctures that we offer are far superior to anything else that's offered. Um, and again, because it's uncracked cell wall pollen, you'll notice when you open the ponderosa or the lodgepole, it is this incredibly fine, silky powder, very, very smooth, amazing. Whereas cracked cell wall stuff, it's chalky. The reality is, once you crack the cell wall, then that is no longer a living cell, and the nutrient quality, the natural oils, the compounds in that are starting to denature now. They're less shelf stable, and they have to be consumed quite quickly.
And another thing is also the fair trade component. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you consider when you're harvesting, well, I think I heard only 5% of the weight of the product that's harvested actually is what results in the jar that's saleable. Did you
Yeah,
hear
so
that?
my understanding is 20 kilograms of harvested catechins equals 1 kilogram of raw pollen.
Wow.
Yeah. Which in all honesty, I mean, 20 harvesting 20 kilograms maybe takes a couple hours. So as much as like that's kind of like the ratio of raw product that we're getting, the volumes that we can bring in within a month and a half, just with the small team we have, because full time there's maybe 12 to 15 harvesters. And again, the area of unexplored territory is quite vast. So it's pretty amazing the abundance that the forest has to offer. And we're maybe taking 5 to 10% of what each tree can offer as well. So the ecosystems are staying very, very healthy. We're getting a pretty massive amount of product, and the untapped potential that there is quite infinite.
When I came out into the field, I really enjoyed taking photos of you harvesting and documenting how we were doing that. So in the description of this video, I will put a link to a YouTube video that I'll create and some other photos of Brendan out in the field. But the other thing that I was doing when I was trying to get photos of the product and the trees is, as I was drying the catkins, I was trying to collect the pollen and see like how much pollen comes out of one. And on average, I was
Mm,
probably getting about one daily use out of a single catkin if I was even drying it properly. But
mhm.
yeah, that was pretty fascinating to get the raw product and see it just fall out of the cone, I guess. So,
The
and
cat,
so
the
if
cat, the catkin bud. Yeah.
yeah, the catkin buds. So, as our team grows, what type of person would enjoy this summer contract work? Like, who would want a job like this?
I think somebody who ideally loves being outdoors, um, is not afraid to do physical work, work long hours, get their hands dirty, is, I would say, very, very self-driven. So likes having a sense of agency because, you're not being supervised. You're going out, you're responsible for yourself. Nobody's telling you how long you need to work. Nobody's telling you how much you need to harvest. There's no quotas. Um, and somebody who really like wants to be a part of a community and contribute and wants to be a part of something that aligns with their values. I think that's a big thing. Is it's a core values driven position.
Yeah, I think it's a great experience and it's so special that you had the opportunity and you're in school right now. So you have the perfect window of time, like when the trees were ready to harvest, you were out of school. So maybe this is even a great opportunity for students.
I think it is a phenomenal opportunity. I was really, really lucky with your support, Maria, that BC offers an agricultural student grant. So yeah, if students are coming out and they're looking to do something that's actually quite financially viable for work and something that goes towards their studies or could potentially go on scholarships, or other resumes, there's just so many skills that are developed. I think it's a great opportunity.
Well, I know that you're continuing your education and you're in university still, and I just hope that this experience helps guide you on your path to wherever you end up going professionally with your career. But I really appreciate your passion for agriculture and sustainability and just your willingness to be part of the community and helping educate through these chats and sharing your experience. We're really grateful to have you to be part of our team and community, Brendan.
Thank you, Maria. It's my pleasure. I'm a Métis student. I'm in art school, and so a big part, I think, my ethos is helping to create beauty in the world, and also doing things that align with my heritage and my beliefs. So it's been a blessing to be a part of this, to have these experiences, and to connect with you and everyone else who's a part of the company.
Great. Well, I know that a lot of people, they want to know more about how we harvest and our company. So sharing your stories is always really great. So thank you. So we'll hopefully see you next season and we'll stay connected, but have a great school year and enjoy the rest of your summer.
Thanks, Maria. Take care.
We'll see you next time.